Let me tell you something. There are women, and then there are women who walk with the favor of God. There are women who struggle to find their way, and then there are women whose steps are ordered by the Most High. There are women who chase after validation, and then there are women who already know they are chosen. A woman favored by God doesn't move like everybody else. She doesn't have to force doors open because God opens them for her. She doesn't have to beg for opportunities because blessings chase her down. She doesn't have to prove her worth because her worth was already written in the heavens before she was even born. But let me warn you, not everyone will understand it. Some people will envy you. Some will try to tear you down. Some will ask, why her? But it's not your job to explain. It's your job to recognize who you are, to stand firm in your favor, and to walk boldly in your purpose. Because when God places His hand on you, no one can remove it. So today I want to give you 8 signs that you are a woman favored by God. And if you recognize yourself in these words, don't shrink back, stand up. Because you, my sister, are chosen. 1, you carry a presence that can't be ignored. There is something powerful about a woman who carries the presence of God. She doesn't have to demand attention. Her spirit does that for her. She walks into a room and people can sense that there is something different about her. It's not arrogance. It's not pride. It's the glow of divine favor. The kind of presence that cannot be ignored. A woman who carries God's presence walks with confidence, not because she believes she is better than others, but because she knows who she is in Christ. She is not moved by the opinions of people because she understands that her identity is rooted in God. She doesn't need to seek validation from the world because she has already been chosen, anointed, and called for something greater. People often wonder, what is it about her? It's the peace she carries. It's the way she stands firm in her faith even when life throws its toughest battles her way. It's the way she speaks with wisdom, the way she moves with purpose, and the way she treats others with grace. There is a light in her that cannot be dimmed, and that light comes from the favor of God. She doesn't have to force relationships, beg for opportunities, or chase after things that aren't meant for her. Why? Because God's presence in her life attracts the right people, the right blessings, and the right doors to open. People are drawn to her not because of what she has, but because of who she is. Someone whose life is evidence of God's goodness. But let me tell you something. When you carry a presence that can't be ignored, not everyone will celebrate it. Some will be inspired by you, but others will be intimidated by you. Some will support you, but others will try to tear you down. Some will see the favor on your life and question why it's not happening for them. But don't let that shake you. You were not called to fit in. You were called to stand out. A woman who carries the presence of God doesn't engage in gossip. She doesn't entertain drama. She doesn't lower her standards to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. She walks away from anything that threatens her peace because she knows her worth. She is too focused on her purpose to be distracted by meaningless things. Her presence is powerful because she operates in faith, not fear. She is not afraid of challenges because she knows who fights her battles. She doesn't worry about the future because she trusts in God's plan. She doesn't dwell in the past because she understands that greater things are ahead. So if you are a woman who carries a presence that cannot be ignored, walk boldly in it. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not downplay your blessings to appease those who don't understand them. Keep shining, keep standing tall, keep walking in the favor of God, because when you carry His presence, nothing and no one can stop what He has planned for you. 2, You have overcome battles that should have broken you. There is something undeniable about a woman who has walked through fire and came out refined. A woman who has faced storms that should have drowned her, battles that should have broken her, and struggles that should have destroyed her, but she's still standing. Not just standing, but standing stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. That, my sister, is the mark of a woman favored by God. You see, life has tried to take you down more times than you can count. You've been through heartbreak that should have left you bitter. You faced betrayals that should have made you lose trust in everyone. You've had moments where you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if you'd ever make it through. But here you are, not just surviving, thriving. That is not by accident. That is not by chance. That is God's hand over your life. A woman who has overcome battles that should have broken her carries a different kind of strength. She doesn't just move through life carelessly, she moves with wisdom. She has learned lessons that only experience can teach. She no longer entertains negativity. She no longer allows people to take advantage of her. She no longer questions whether she is worthy, because she knows that if God brought her through the fire, it means she is meant for something greater. But let me tell you something, people may look at you and only see the strong woman you are today, but they don't know the nights you prayed for strength. They don't know the times you almost gave up. They don't know the silent battles you fought behind closed doors, but God knows. And that's why He keeps elevating you. That's why He keeps blessing you. That's why He keeps making a way for you, even when others thought you were finished. A woman who has overcome battles understands that pain was never meant to destroy her. It was meant to prepare her. She now walks with a confidence that comes from knowing that if she made it through that, she can make it through anything. She doesn't fear the future because she knows the same God who carried her through the past will continue to guide her steps. And let me tell you, the enemy is terrified of you, because he threw his worst at you and you still didn't break. He tried to shake your faith, but you held on. He tried to silence you, but now your testimony is louder than ever. He tried to take your joy, but you came back with even greater purpose. So if you have overcome battles that should have broken you, stand tall in your victory. Walk with the confidence of a woman who knows that she is covered, protected, and destined for greatness. Because when God favors you, no weapon, no storm, no betrayal, no struggle can take away what He has planned for your life. 3, doors open that you never knocked on. There is something powerful about divine favor. When God's hand is on your life, doors will open that you never even knocked on. Opportunities will find you that you didn't chase. Blessings will come that you didn't beg for. That is what happens when you are a woman favored by God. Some people spend their whole life struggling, forcing their way into spaces, trying to prove themselves. But when God is in control, you don't have to force anything. What is meant for you will come in its appointed time, and no one can block it. That job offer, that connection, that breakthrough, it will come to you, not because of who you know, but because of who you belong to. A woman favored by God doesn't have to manipulate, beg, or scheme her way into success. She doesn't have to compromise her values just to be accepted. When God says it's time, He will position her exactly where she needs to be. He will put her in rooms she never thought she'd enter. He will place her in front of people who have the power to elevate her. And all she has to do is be ready to receive what He has already prepared. But let me tell you something, not everyone will understand this kind of favor. Some will wonder why it's happening for you and not for them. Some will question why you got the promotion, the opportunity, the recognition. Some will try to discredit you, saying you didn't earn it, that you don't deserve it. But they don't understand. This isn't about luck, and it's not about qualifications. This is about God's divine timing, and when God says yes, no one can say no. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself in a situation where things just worked out for you, where a connection was made that you weren't even looking for, where a door opened that you never even thought about knocking on? That's not a coincidence. That's not just good luck. That is the favor of God making a way for you. But here's the thing. When God starts opening doors for you, don't be afraid to walk through them. Don't doubt yourself. Don't question whether you're worthy. If God put you there, it means you belong there. Too many people let fear hold them back from stepping into the blessings that are right in front of them. But not you. You will walk boldly. You will step into every blessing with confidence, knowing that God doesn't make mistakes. So if doors are opening that you never knocked on, don't question it. Thank God for it. If blessings are coming out of nowhere, don't feel guilty. Receive them with gratitude. And if people don't understand why you're being elevated, don't waste your time explaining. Just keep walking in your purpose. Because when God favors you, no one can stop what He has planned for your life. 4, you walk with grace through life's challenges. There is something powerful about a woman who walks with grace through life's challenges. She faces storms, but she doesn't let them shake her faith. She experiences setbacks, but she doesn't let them define her. She may stumble, she may cry, she may even break down for a moment, but she never stays down. She gets back up with strength, with wisdom, and with a renewed sense of purpose. That is the mark of a woman favored by God. Grace is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about acting like you don't feel pain. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, God is still in control. It's about understanding that even in your darkest moments, you are never alone. A woman who walks with grace doesn't respond to chaos with panic. She responds with faith. She knows that every challenge she faces is not meant to break her, but to build her. Life will test you. There will be moments when everything seems to go wrong, when people betray you, when plans fall apart, when the weight of life feels unbearable. But a woman of grace does not allow her circumstances to shake her identity. She remains steady, not because she has all the answers, but because she knows the one who does. She doesn't fight every battle with anger or resentment. She chooses peace, wisdom, and discernment. She understands that not everything deserves her reaction. Walking with grace means trusting God even when things don't make sense. It means holding your head high when others expect you to fall apart. It means carrying yourself with dignity even when life tries to strip it away. It means understanding that your value is not determined by your struggles, but by the way you rise from them. But let me tell you something. Not everyone will understand your grace. Some will mistake your kindness for weakness. Some will think that because you don't fight back with anger, you are not strong. But they don't realize that grace is a sign of strength, not weakness. It takes more power to remain calm in the face of adversity than to lash out in frustration. It takes more strength to trust God's plan than to try to control everything yourself. A woman who walks with grace also extends grace to others. She does not seek revenge against those who hurt her. She does not hold on to bitterness. Instead, she lets God fight her battles. She understands that her energy is too valuable to waste on things that do not serve her purpose. So if you are a woman who walks with grace through life's challenges, know this: you are favored. Your ability to remain steady in the storm is proof that God's hand is on your life. Keep walking, keep believing, and keep trusting that every challenge is leading you closer to the blessings that God has prepared for you. Because when you walk with grace, nothing can shake the foundation that God has built within you. 5. You have a heart for others. A woman favored by God is not just blessed for herself. She is blessed to be a blessing to others. She carries a heart that is full of love, compassion, and kindness. She does not turn away when she sees someone struggling. She does not hesitate to lift someone up when they have fallen. She understands that her purpose is bigger than just her own success. It is about how she can impact the lives of those around her. Having a heart for others means that she does not just talk about love, she lives it. She gives without expecting anything in return. She helps without seeking recognition. She serves without needing applause. She sees the broken, the forgotten, and the lost, and instead of ignoring them, she reaches out her hand. This kind of woman carries the Spirit of God wherever she goes. She understands that true greatness is not found in how much she has, but in how much she gives. But let me tell you something, having a heart for others is not always easy. Sometimes the people you help will not appreciate you. Sometimes the ones you love the most will take your kindness for granted. Sometimes you will pour into people who will never pour back into you. And yet you keep giving. Why? Because your kindness is not for them, it is for God. You do not love people because they deserve it. You love people because God has placed love inside of you. A woman with a heart for others understands that the world does not need more selfishness, more greed, or more indifference. It needs more kindness, more grace, and more generosity. She is not afraid to pray for others, to encourage others, to lift others up, even when she is struggling herself. She knows that when she sows seeds of kindness, God will water them and bring blessings back into her life in ways she never expected. Some may mistake her kindness for weakness. Some may think that because she has a soft heart, she can be taken advantage of. But let me tell you, there is nothing weak about a woman who loves deeply. There is nothing weak about a woman who continues to give, even when she has every reason to stop. That is not weakness, that is divine strength. That is the heart of God moving through her. And here's the beautiful thing: when a woman with a heart for others walks into a room, she changes the atmosphere. She makes people feel seen, valued, and loved. She brings hope where there is doubt. She carries light where there is darkness. She does not just exist, she makes a difference. So if you are a woman who has a heart for others, never let this world harden you. Never let disappointments make you bitter. Keep loving, keep giving, keep serving. Because when God sees your heart, He will continue to bless you abundantly. And when you pour into others, He will pour even more into you. 6, you feel peace even when things don't make sense. There is something powerful about a woman who carries peace even when life is full of uncertainty, when everything around her is chaotic, when plans fall apart, when she doesn't have all the answers, she still stands firm. She is not easily shaken, not because she has everything figured out, but because she knows who holds her future. That, my sister, is the mark of a woman favored by God. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of faith. It is knowing that no matter what happens, God is in control. A woman favored by God doesn't panic when storms come her way. She doesn't allow fear to consume her. She doesn't let stress steal her joy. She understands that God has already gone before her, preparing the way, working things out even when she can't see it. And let me tell you something, not everyone will understand your peace. Some will look at your situation and wonder how you're still standing. They'll ask, how can she be so calm when things are falling apart? They won't understand that your peace doesn't come from the world, it comes from God. It's not based on circumstances, it's based on trust. You know that if God brought you this far, He won't leave you now. A woman who carries divine peace doesn't react to life the way others do. She doesn't waste time worrying about things she can't control. She doesn't allow negative people to disrupt her spirit. She doesn't engage in unnecessary battles because she knows that some things are best left in God's hands. She chooses to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. She understands that her energy is too valuable to waste on things that do not serve her purpose. But here's the thing, this kind of peace is not something you achieve overnight. It comes from experience. It comes from walking through fire and realizing that God never left you. It comes from surviving storms that should have destroyed you and seeing how God turned it all around for your good. It comes from surrendering, from letting go of control, from trusting that even when life doesn't make sense, God still has a plan. And let me remind you, having peace doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It doesn't mean you don't have moments of doubt or frustration. It means that even in the midst of it all, you don't lose sight of God's promises. It means that you choose faith over fear. It means that instead of letting worry consume you, you pray, you trust, and you keep moving forward. So if you are a woman who feels peace even when things don't make sense, know that you are walking in divine favor. That peace is your proof that God is with you. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep walking forward, because everything He has promised you is still on the way. 7. The right people are drawn to you. There is something special about a woman favored by God. She doesn't have to chase the right people. They are drawn to her. She doesn't have to beg for friendships, force relationships, or prove her worth to be accepted. When God's favor is on your life, He aligns you with people who see your value, respect your purpose, and push you toward your destiny. The right people will recognize your spirit before you even speak. They will see something different about you, your strength, your wisdom, your faith, and they will be inspired by it. You won't have to shrink yourself to fit in. You won't have to change who you are just to be accepted. When God sends the right people, they will love you for who you truly are, not for who they want you to be. A woman favored by God does not waste time chasing after people who were never meant to stay. She understands that not everyone is meant to walk with her on her journey. Some people come into your life for a season, and when their time is up, you must let them go. Holding on to the wrong people will only block you from receiving the right ones. Favor is knowing when to release what no longer serves you and trust that God will replace it with something better. But here's the truth: not everyone will be happy about the favor on your life. Some will come close to you just to take advantage of your kindness. Some will pretend to support you, but secretly hope for your downfall. Some will try to distract you from your purpose because they see something in you that they don't have. That is why discernment is key. A woman favored by God does not allow just anyone into her space. She prays for wisdom. She listens to her intuition, and she protects her peace. The right people will push you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. They will speak life into you when you feel discouraged. They will celebrate your success instead of being jealous of it. They will remind you of your worth when you forget it. These are the people sent by God, people who want to see you win, not just when it benefits them, but because they genuinely care. If you find yourself surrounded by the wrong people, people who drain your energy, make you doubt yourself, or bring more negativity, then peace, do not be afraid to let them go. The right people cannot enter your life if you are still holding on to the wrong ones. Trust that when you remove what no longer aligns with your purpose, God will replace it with something greater. So, if you are a woman who attracts the right people, know that it is not by accident, it is by divine design. Only being who you are. Keep walking in faith. Keep shining your light. Because when God's favor is on you, the right people will always find their way into your life. 8. You are unapologetically who God created you to be. A woman favored by God does not shrink herself to fit into the expectations of others. She stands boldly in the identity God has given her. She does not apologize for her faith, her strength, or her purpose. She knows who she is, and she walks in that truth without fear. She does not water herself down to make others comfortable. She does not dim her light so that others can shine. She embraces every part of herself, the gifts, the flaws, the lessons, and the journey, because she understands that she was created by God for a reason. Being unapologetically yourself in a world that constantly tries to change you is not easy. Society will tell you that you need to be quieter, smaller, less confident. People will try to convince you that you need to change who you are to be accepted. But a woman who is truly favored by God knows that she was not created to fit, and she was created to stand out. She was designed with a purpose that no one else can fulfill. She carries a light that cannot be hidden, no matter how much the world tries to dim it. When you are unapologetically who God created you to be, not everyone will like it. Some people will be intimidated by your confidence. Some will misunderstand your boldness. Some will try to make you doubt yourself because they don't have the courage to live in their own truth. But let me tell you something, your purpose is too important to be held back by other people's opinions. Your calling is too great to be put on pause for someone else's comfort. A woman favored by God does not seek validation from the world. She knows that her worth comes from her Creator. She does not wait for people to approve of her dreams, her goals, or her faith. She moves forward with or without their support, because she knows that as long as God is for her, nothing can stand against her. She does not change herself to fit into places she was never meant to be. She walks into every room with confidence, knowing that she belongs wherever God has placed her. And here's the truth: when you walk boldly in your God-given identity, you inspire others to do the same. You become a light for those who are struggling to embrace who they are. You show other women that they don't have to apologize for being strong, for being ambitious, for being faithful. You show them that it is possible to live fully, love deeply, and walk confidently in the purpose that God has given them. So if you are a woman who refuses to be anything other than who God created you to be, know this: you are favored. Keep standing tall. Keep speaking your truth. Keep walking boldly, because the world needs more women who are unafraid to be exactly who God called them to be.